But people who have subconscious and unconscious, for them Shastras become very dangerous. It's like a children using the knife. When they have subconscious and unconscious, instead of practicing, they start preaching the Shastras. Instead of they themselves practicing, they start preaching. A great danger is there with Shastras. The moment you understand, you get so much of intellectual confidence and intellectual knowledge, you can twist any word into anything. You will get the efficiency, you will get the power to text torture or twist the words or playing with words. You will have so much of capacity to play with words. Easily you can cheat others. Easily you can cheat others. People who have subconscious and unconscious, for them Shastras are only dangerous. People who don't have subconscious and unconscious, simple. For them, Shastras can simply transform their life. Nothing more is necessary. Simple understanding, an intellectual understanding is more than enough. By reading one Upanishad, they became enlightened. There is a beautiful sutra in the Paramahamsa Upanishad, Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Upanishad. After describing about sannyas, the sutra starts directly giving mantras to take sannyas. First they describe about sannyas, then immediately the mantras to take sannyas are coming. You will be surprised. Why suddenly they are giving the mantras? Then I understood. In those days, just by hearing about sannyas, people take the decision to take sannyas. So there is no question of analyzing. There is no question of second thought. There is no question of, oh, I will have to go and inquire, I have to get my visa, I have to have permission from this person, that person, nothing. Intellectual conviction and over. No, my daughter is studying 10th, let her finish 10th, then I will take. There are so many reasons. You can't. People who don't have subconscious and unconscious don't have reasons. People who don't have subconscious and unconscious, they simply jump. A simple intellectual clarity is more than enough. That is the reason in Paramahamsa Upanishad. First they describe what is sannyas and what is Paramahamsa. Immediately the mantra to take the sannyas is given. They don't even consider whether you want or not. They don't even ask, do you want it or not. Simply they give the state, then the qualification, then mantras, over. I was really shocked. Straight away they were giving the things. Then I understood, in those days people did not have subconscious and unconscious. In those days, they didn't have subconscious and unconscious. They don't have to conduct any program. They don't have to go for any job. They have nothing else. Of course, they had everything, but in the outer world, they have not internalized. Internalizing the outer incidents is what creates subconscious and unconscious. Internalizing the effects of outer incidents is what is subconscious and unconscious. You can live without subconscious and unconscious. You can live without internalizing the outside incidents, without internalizing outside happenings. If a man has mastered the art of living without internalizing the outside incidences, he is only called as Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa is a man who lives without internalizing whatever is happening in the outer world. You can live without internalizing. People who live without internalizing, they don't have subconscious or unconscious. How to find out whether we have subconscious or whether we have subconscious or unconscious or not? Now this is an important thing. If you say, I understand intellectually smoking has to be dropped, but I am not able to, then be very clear, you have subconscious and unconscious. Even after knowing, if you say you are not able to drop, then be very clear, you have unconscious and subconscious. If you don't have unconscious and subconscious, just an intellectual understanding is more than enough. That will lead to light. The Upanishads, they say, just by reciting once Asadoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, people became enlightened. Just by reciting, just by hearing Tattvamasi, people became enlightened. Just these few words, people simply enter into enlightenment state. How can it be? It is possible because they did not have subconscious and unconscious mind. So a simple, straight intellectual clarity is more than enough. Simply give them few words, they are already into that state. In Patanjali there is a beautiful technique. He says, sit straight, meditation happens. In those days, just by sitting, they enter into meditative state. Because the body and the mind was one and the same. There is no two things. Nothing much is complicated. You don't have much complications inside your system. You don't create words. You don't create logic. You don't create reasonings which can defeat the masters. That's what, surviving the scriptures and surviving the masters. Anyhow, when you are simple shastras is more than enough. But humanity is not so simple. By and by, they started outliving shastras. They started surviving the masters. The techniques have become useless. In Buddha's time, simple shastras are more than enough. Later on, the techniques have become useless. Then came a big wave of stotras. You can see, just after Shankara, a big wave of stotras. Dasa Parampara, Chaitanya, Nayanmars, all over India, a big sweep of bhakti cult. A big sweep of bhakti happened. The stotras. Stotra means the man who has got subconscious can overcome his subconscious just by stotra scriptures. The love, devotion is more than enough to become enlightened for the people who are only subconscious. Intellect and just subconscious. Then you don't need anything more than stotras. That is why Ramakrishna says beautifully, divert your love, divert your anger, divert all your emotions towards God, you will become enlightened. Means all the suppressed emotions, you divert it towards the divine. When I say stotras, I mean the techniques which works, which creates emotional experience or emotional attachment towards the ultimate, towards the divine. For some people who has got only subconscious, for them stotras are really great help. But again, people have started outliving the stotras. People have started outliving the stotras. People have started surviving the stotras. Even stotras are become useless. Even stotras are not able to do much. then a different kind of scripture is necessary. That is what is Tantra. Very important thing. Tantra will help the person who has got all possible problems. Intellect, subconscious and unconscious and what not. Because once you use the word unconscious, everything is included. Unconscious means etc. etc. All possible troubles, all possible problems exist in unconscious. Tantra is the scripture to help every human being. Tantra gives solution for all types of beings which happen, which is happening and which is yet to happen. Tantra gives ultimate keys to unlock the locks which has happened, which is happening and which is yet to happen. Stotras and Shastras. Let us look little deeply. Shastras speak about the goal. Stotras speak about the experience. After experience happens, you start singing stotras. Once it happens, you start singing stotras. It's like a how is never asked. In Shastras, only truth is analyzed. You ask only why. When you ask why, you can become a better philosopher. If you ask why this existence, you will become a great philosopher. But Tantra never asks why. It always says how. How can you solve it? It never asks why there is a problem. It always asks how can we solve it. If you start analyzing why there is a problem, you can never finish. You can never end. By analyzing, you will never come out. You will be having only more and more problems. By solving the question, you can never come out. Only by dissolving, you can come out. Actually, if you solve one question, if you answer one question, if you really heard my answer, you will have 100 questions. If you really hear my answers, one answer, you will have 100 questions. Actually, people are tired, so they stop asking. It is not that they understood. Either they are bored or they do not want to ask. It is not that they understood. I know. Whenever people ask me questions, I never answer. I just postpone. I know the technique of postponing. That is why any question I can answer. Any question I can answer because nobody wants answer. Be very clear. Nobody wants answer. If you really hear my answer, one answer, you will get 100 questions. Naturally, you will have a headache. And you do not want to think much about it. And now you get slowly little frightened. If I ask little more questions, I will have more and more questions. And there was a Rakshasa in the Puranas. He is called Udirasura. Means, if one drop of his blood, if it drops on the ground, 1,000 people will come out of that blood. He can never be destroyed. Because the moment somebody attacks him, blood oozes out. And thousands of people come out of his body. They all start fighting. And if you attack those guys, from their blood also, thousands of people can start coming. So if you put one astra, you will have 1 lakh people. You will have 1 lakh. If you put the second astra, you will have 1 crore. So you can never defeat him. Same way, you can never solve a question. You can only dissolve. Question comes out of words. Words can never solve words. Blood can never clean the blood. You can't wash the blood by blood. You can't solve a question by answer. No. You can't solve a word by another word. If you give one more word, you will have one more question. You will have one more question. So technique of answering is just see that other guy, the guy who questions should become tired. Just take care of only one thing, that he should become tired mentally. That's enough. Simply any question you can answer. And nobody wants answer. First thing, they wanted to show that they know. Many times I have seen people wanted to show that they know. And I have seen many times, after spending 1 hour with me, people go out and say, "Oh, we had such a wonderful interview with Swamiji. We learned so much." But actually I would have never spoken. I would have not opened my mouth at all. I just heard they are speaking. They feel so happy that they got somebody to listen. In this modern day, nobody listens to others. Everybody is speaking. Even if you keep quiet, you are preparing your speech. Actually, you keep silent when the other guy is speaking so that you can start speaking. Just a courtesy. Now I heard, keep quiet and listen to me. Nobody is listening. Either you are speaking or you prepare your speech, that's all. The silent period, you are preparing your speech. You don't keep quiet. You are hearing so that he will hear you. It is a simple agreement. You see, I heard you. Now keep quiet and listen to me. And if the other guy is not ready to listen, you will not listen to him. So nobody wants answers. That is a big trouble. Actually, we take others' questions very seriously. That is where the problem starts. And a simple key, important key, whenever your wife comes and tells some complaint to you, never try to give solution. She just wants somebody to hear. She doesn't want solution. Be very clear. And she can give much better solution. She knows the solution. She doesn't want solution. She wants somebody to console her. Listen. Just listen. Nothing else. Actually, there is some kind of special kind of mental setup. And the same way for male also. For male also, you don't want answers. You just want somebody to listen what you feel. Because you know much better answers. Nobody wants solutions. Nobody wants answer. Either they wanted to show that they know, or they wanted to feel good that they asked. They are seekers. When you ask, your ego is strengthened. You are a seeker. You are a seeker. The ego of the seeker is the worst ego. You do not even know you are what you are. And a small experiment. Just try to pick up the diary. Don't pick it up. Just try to pick it up. Try to pick up the diary. You can't pick it up, but try to pick it up. It's like I tried to pick up this book. I can't pick it up, but I try to pick it up. Means what? Cheating yourself. That is what it means when you say, I try to become enlightened. Whether you pick the book or you don't pick up the book, that's all. There is no such thing. I am trying to pick this book up. I am not able to. I am You are just trying to fool yourself. Seeker ego. The man who thinks himself as a seeker does the same game. I am trying to pick this book. I am trying to pick this book. I am trying to pick this book. What is he trying? Nothing. Either you pick up or you drop. There is nothing called trying to pick up this book.